all the participants for the PC troubleshooting and hardware maintenance. I thank our CEO Shri Sai Prakash Leomuthu sir for arranging this program, and also I place my sincere thanks to our beloved principal Dr. K. Palanikumar sir and Dr. B. Sridevi ma'am, HOD Department of CSC, and the staff members of Entrepreneurship Development Cell for organizing this event. I thank our organizer Rajalakshmi ma'am and Trinavakar sir, and also I place a hearty thanks for our coordinator Mr. Shanmuga Sundar sir for arranging this magnificent session. So, we have eminent speakers from various organizations who are here to share their knowledge and ideas regarding the topic. So, without any delay, let's welcome our session speaker, Merlin Linda. She is pursuing her PhD from Anna University and has completed a ME in Computer Science and Engineering from Jerusalem College of Engineering. She is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Vadapalani campus, and also she has published 4 papers in international journals and has attended 3 national conferences, and also she has completed the courses on Python for data science from IBM Cognitive Class, and also completed an 8-week NPTEL online certification course on programming data structures and algorithms using Python. She is subject oriented regarding computer programming, software engineering, and many more. And she is also a member of Indian Society for Technical Education and a member of International Society for Research and Development. She is also well versed in operating system like Linux, Fedora 16, and Windows XP, and some tools like MATLAB, Anaconda, MySQL, etc. So let's welcome our session speaker. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. I hope my voice is clear. A very good morning, everyone. We'll start with today's session. So far, we have seen in the previous classes. I started with the computer systems, the computer parts of the computer system. Then we have yesterday's session BIOS and working procedure of BIOS, what is the functional components and how the systems components will use the BIOS, and also we have seen that internal parts of the BIOS, like when we encounter troubleshooting options, we have seen how BIOS will work. Actually, we have seen some major components of the BIOS systems. Today I'll show you that the setup and utility function of the BIOS, how Windows or a normal PC, if you're going for any specific BIOS, how we can able to set up the BIOS, that is boot a system. Some steps I'll show you. Then I will discuss with you one case study, which when we use a USB to boot your laptop or PC. Suppose if your USB is not detecting to boot your system, how we can able to solve the problem, we'll discuss that also. So that is the today's session's agenda. Let me share my screen. Just a minute. Okay. So I started sharing my screen. You can see. Okay. So BIOS setup and troubleshooting, right? So BIOS setup, we have seen yesterday what is BIOS, right? Basic input output settings, and we have seen what are the core fundamental components or functions available in BIOS, and when we are using the boot options, we have seen what kind of options are available, how this BIOS will work, the BIOS, and we have seen one more component called the CMOS. Then we have seen PTOS also we have seen. So like we have seen all the functional basic components present in the BIOS, right? We'll see now how we will able to set up BIOS, how we able to boot a BIOS. I'm not going to from my system. I've taken some compiled a screenshot. I'll explain a step-by-step procedure how we can able to set up a BIOS, right? So BIOS setup utility. So how I should I have need to set up the BIOS. You can see that slide. First, I have to open the system. I have to switch on the power, right? If you are using a CPU based PC, if your laptop, for all the type of machine, you have to switch on the power. So power on the computer. I told you in yesterday class stuff, we have to either you have to constantly, let me show that option. So these are the control keys to open the booting option. Either you have to press the upward key or downward key continuously, or left key, right key, or F1, F2, F3, F4, or sometimes your plus key, minus key, escape key. So or enter key continuously. So you have to keep on pressing. Once you click the power button, you have to click on any of the keys. So it will vary depending upon the type of the machine or type of the booting options. It will vary, so you have to use any one of the following key to continuously press the following to continuously press. When you continue, so for example, let me take a F1 key. So after pressing the power button, I have to continue, I have to use a F1 key continuously. I have to press immediately, I have to press the F1 button. So once I immediately press the F1 power button, F1 option, that is, it is a actually the meaning of F1 key is general help, F2 is previous value, F3 is load optimized default functions, F4 is save all the changes and exit. So what it will do, it will display all the booting option box will be displayed. So the power on the computer, you have to press the power on the computer, then press the here I have given a delete button during the beginning of the boot sequence to enter into the BIOS setup utility. So we will be entering into the BIOS setup utility by doing the by pressing any one of the following button, right? So if the entry point, suppose if when it is sometimes when you're pressing F1 button or escape button, delete button, it may lead to the login page also. If in this case, again you have to restart, that is 1 second you have to press the power button, then you have to press F1 or F2, whatever the button is required for your system, you have to press it, and it will lead to the BIOS setup utility. So why so what is the need of doing this now? When you're doing, we can able to choose the options, either the keys or functions F1 to F9. So this is one of the option. Either here, the next slide I have shown you some of the control keys, right? Or you can either use F1 to F9 keys. There F1 is enable debugging, F2 function is boot logging, F3 is low resolution video, F4 is for safe mode, F5 is for safe mode with networking. The function key for F6 is safe mode with command prompt. F7 is for driver signature enforcement. F8 is for anti-malware protection. F9, the key F9 is for automatic restart after failure. So it can be any key which can open your BIOS setup utility, right? If you want to need more option, you can press F5, F10 key in the keyboard. Definitely we need a keyboard. Without keyboard, we cannot able to do open up the BIOS setup utility, right? That is a small tip for you. So after opening the BIOS setup, so you can think that the BIOS setup has been displayed in your system, right? So what you have to do after once your BIOS setup is displayed, you can able to see some general help screen. So the BIOS setup utility general help screen will be displayed in your system. So what is the main function of the general help screen? So this general help screen, we can able to see all the functions listed. What are the BIOS setup utility functions is in that BIOS setup. You can able to see all the listing functions. The general listing functions will be available in the main screen. So the main screen. So so you can see that I have given one small figure, right? So this screen can be accessed at any time by pressing F1. That we have to do before logging, before the system login. So this helps the screen display the key for using navigation, the BIOS setup utility. So if you don't want, if you accidentally press that, sometimes if you are using a PCs, we can able to see when you are using I think many students have encountered when you are using PCs in a lab, your lab sessions, uh, your lab technician will be continuously clicking to down arrow button, up arrow button. So to correct to if you are getting a continuous beep tone. Yesterday we have discussed some of the beep tones, right? We have seen the BIOS when we open the BIOS. If your system is malfunction with any problem, you'll be getting different tones like single beep, double beep, single beep, then continuous beep tones, then single beep, three beep tones. So we have discussed some of the beep tones. With the help of the beep tones, we can able to identify what kind of problem the system is facing. So that we have seen in yesterday's class. So if suppose if you are getting, when you're switching on your power, if you are getting some beep tones, you have to go to the BIOS setup. So I have told you that what are the control keys are needed in order to find out the BIOS utility setups. Now we are seeing the diagram initializing USB controller. So here I am using USB controller to open the BIOS setup. So this is one of different. I'll tell you about more about how to open the BIOS setup and perform the OS. I can change the settings in the BIOS setup, and how I can able to save the configuration in the BIOS setup with the help of the USB. So that that part I'll cover you at the last session. So now here I'm pressing the F2 to run the setup. So if you want to run the setup, then you can press Control plus E or F2 directly. That is through your keyboard, right? Or you can use some F8 option or Control plus E, some Control plus P option from your keyboard, or you can use F12. So these are the important keys other than F1, F3, F5. So you can use these shortcuts or direct keys from your keyboard to open up the BIOS utility setup. So once your system has once your system has um, loading that BIOS utility setup, you will get the display. You'll get the first screen like menu, advanced, chipset, boot, save and exit. These are the four main menu option you can able to see in the BIOS utility setup. See the system overview screen. You can see here, right? I'm showing the basic screen. That is it shows the menu called main, advanced, chipset, boot, save and exit, right? So we are going to see now, discuss now what are the components will present in the main, and what are the components is present in the advanced, and what is chipset, what is boot, what is save and exit. So the procedure which I am going to share now with you is a normal it will be applicable to all the PCs, general booting procedure, right? So one more method, one more other than that, I am going to share you one more procedure that is applicable for certain option only. So I'll tell you what is that option after completing this. So this procedure is applicable to all the PCs and laptop if you want to reboot your system, which means that I told you yesterday one scenario, right? I hope you remember. For example, if your system your system date and time is not coming properly, which means if you are now the current time my system is 10:52, right? So but my system, the time is showing us 9 o'clock. What I should do, I have to change the system time to 10:52, but I have changed the system timing. We have an option, right? But by clicking the setting, we have systems time. The time will be displayed here. Click that, you can able to that lead to the lead to where we can change the system timing. But after 1 hour or after restarting my system, the system time will automatically change to 1 hour earlier. So 1 hour before, which means that again the system timing is not proper. Even though I am changing that system timing manually from some that option, it is not setting the perfect system date and time. So now where is the problem? So what is the problem here? So I cannot. So the problem is at each time when I'm logging my PCs, the system time, even though I am changing my system timing manually, it is showing my false time, right? So the problem is now I have to change the system timing in booting system. In booting, I have to go to the system boot. I have to change the system timing there, then only the operating system will send the control functions to the software. The software can able to link with the internet time, and it will display the current timings. Otherwise your system time will not be perfect. So that is one of the problem which I have discussed yesterday also, right? When I'll explain the system date and time, I'll explain more about that. So here we can see that main menu, right? What are the functionalities present in the booting main? BIOS information, BIOS vendor, core version, compliancy, then project version, build date and time, memory information, total memory, system language, system date time, access level. So these are the core important functions which is available in the main menu, right? So now what are the main among the main menu option? This BIOS information and memory information, system date, system time. These are four main important functions to perform your troubleshooting options. Like we can able to find what is BIOS information. If you want to need more information, if you want to change anything related, if you want to find out what kind of BIOS information is present, how the OS is look like, all the details, booting informations will be present in the BIOS information. And we have discussed yesterday BIOS vendors, right? I told you about yesterday session what are the different types of vendors available. So BIOS vendors we discussed, like one familiar vendor we have come across yesterday is AMI, right? We have come across AMI BIOS vendor. I told you about what is AMI, how that AMI BIOS vendor will look like. So all these I have told you. So the AMI BIOS vendor, um, so we can see the type of vendor will be present in the screen. So what is core version? So we can able to see the core versions of the vendor and compliancy. What any other related issue which present in the compliancy, we can able to see that compliancy. Project version, what kind of version, the OS version that is applicable, that is what is build date and time, how the memory information is available, how much total memory, that RAM memory is available for dividing your local disk hardware. We will know. See, let me show you my desktop. Let me open for you. So for example, if I'm opening this PC, see here, I have divided my total memory into D drive, E drive. So in some PC, you can see that D drive, E drive, F drive. So we can able to partition your drive, that we can able to store your data more efficiently, organizing more efficiently in a better manner. In some PCs, you can see that the drives are not been partitioned. All the memory will be available in RAM. See, my suggestion is that when you are going to do a booting system, please divide your local disk memory into some partitions, so that you can able to organize your files in a more efficient way, right? So you can able to organize your files or your information in a structured manner, right? So that is about the D and this is about your that memory drives. Let me open my PPT. So this is about the main function. So the next we are going to see about what is this BIOS, what is this BIOS vendor, and some important functions in the main menu we are going. What is BIOS information? So the content which will be present in the BIOS information about the vendor, like vendor core versions. We will be discussing about UEFI specification version. What is present in the UEFI specification version? I'll discuss with it as one important thing which I missed in yesterday's session, right? I'll tell you what is this UEFI. And coming to the memory information, this memory information will show you the amount of memory the hardware platform will have. And system language will be configure the language that the user want to use, what either English or Tamil, what kind of language we want to perform. We can able to click here English, there here the common language which we will use is English, right? You can use either English, Tamil, or any other language which you are familiar in accessing your system. Then system date and time. See here we are having a system date and time, right? So it's this section shows the current system date, and if you are pressing the tab, so this will traverse the right, and shift plus tab will traverse the left through the month, day, and year segment. So this we need to know some control sequence option to set this option. So the plus and minus keys on the number pad can be used to push. So here we are need to change the specific Friday means if I want to change Friday to Saturday now, I need to use some control option. So I have to press tab. If I want to change the this first value, second value, or year means month, date, year means I have to press certain value so that the values will be changed. So the plus and minus keys and the number pad can be used to change the values. The time format hour, minute with respect to hour, minute, and second. So then we'll be move on with the next session. Next menu called next menu called advanced session, advanced tab. So what is present in the advanced tab? So this is the main. So this is the main options. Like either we can get that is depending upon the PC boot option, the menus will change. So you can see that this is one option called system time, system date, some legacy distect A, primary master, primary slave, secondary master, secondary slave, keyboard features. If I want to see more functionality what in the keyboard features, now I can open up this keyboard feature. I can able to see how my keyboard features are initialized. I can able to look in more about that. So number lock. So my number lock values, if I enter something through with the help of the keyboard, how the number lock keyboard letters or number lock options will be available. That is will be present in the keyboard features. So advanced setting. So we'll move on to the next option called advanced setting. So the advanced setting screen shows a list of categories that can provide access to a subscreens. Like subscreens links can be identified by the preceding right facing arrowhead, right? So what are the options will be present in the advanced setting? Like we can see that ACPA settings like wake up setting, configuration settings, clock generator configuration, or onboard configurations, or we can able to see cache memory, and we can see input output device configuration, large disk access mode, local bus IDE adapter, advanced chipset control. All these options will be available in the advanced. And here I am showing that cache. I've showing this screenshot for cache memory. So the memory cache here, the status for the memory cache is enabled. So if the memory cache status is enabled, then we can see that the following cache, I hope you know what is cache memory, virtual memory. Can anyone tell what is cache memory and virtual memory? So you might have learned cache memory. What is cache memory in virtual memory in any one of your subjects, right? So cache system BIOS area, cache video BIOS area, like extended memory area. So all these detailed information, whether it is write protected or read and only read protected. What about these control options are needed? If it is, if you want, if you are if you are when you are accessing your system informations, if you are getting any error means you can go to the booting option. You can able to enable the option so that troubleshooting error will be recovered, right? So this is about your input output device configuration. So you can see that serial port A, serial port B, mode, what kind of mode that input output device configurations are available, parallel port, mode about the parallel port, floppy disk controller options. See here you can able to see that help options also. If you want to, why we need to set the serial port, what is the need of the serial port, that description will be available here, right? So what is the other advanced? So here we can see when I'm clicking the floppy disk controller, I can able to see the disabled, enabled, or auto configuration. So here we are giving enabled. If you feel that the floppy disk controller is not needed for your system, you can disable it. So that options is also available. Then local bus ID adapter. So this has been given with an option called both. So both the primary and secondary options are needed for supporting the local bus ID adapter. So here we are seeing about the next options in the advanced menu, that is called advanced chipset control. So the advanced chipset control, what it will help to set the enable memory gap ECC configuration, serial signal condition. So this will be setting with the option, general option. So whatever the option which I am displaying for you is a general, right? Default option I am showing. If you encounter any booting failure options when you are working with your PCs, you can go back. I have told you how to open the booting setup utility. You can go to the particular menu, you can correct your options, right? So you can do that. So now the next menu option is security. So if you actually, the security here is initially when you are doing the boot up utility, if you are entering your password 3 or 4 times, sometimes it will corrupt your motherboard also. So you should be very clear, very careful while entering password. That's why when your elderly people will tell you, when you are using that laptop or PC, when you are initially when you are started using PCs, if you are making a mistake in entering password 3, 4 to 5 times, it will corrupt your motherboard itself. So you should be very careful entering passwords. If you are using a password to protect your system, you should remember your password by providing hint also. That will save your your component of your BIOS, and you will protect your system in damaging, in further damage, right? So the security here, we can see some of the security listing options: supervisor password, user password, set user password, set supervisor password. Set supervisor password means admin password, password on boot. So here I am disabling that password on boot. So if I am giving that while I'm suppose normally everyone cannot able to access your boot setup utility function. Suppose if your admin, your system admin is using a password protecting, using password, set up password for entering into our boot setup utility. If you are sometimes, you can set the count how many times you can enter the password. If you are entering that password wrong beyond 3 or 2 times that limit, so it will corrupt your motherboard. So it should be very careful in entering the password. So here we can see that finally there is a boot option. So you can see that we can able to see that boot option. We are seeing here two options, right? Removable devices, hard drive, CD-ROM. So I can able to set my operating system. I can able to OS by inserting my pen drive, or I can use hard drive, or I can insert CD-ROM drive to repair my system, or uh, to update my OS with the help of these following devices. Either I can use USB pen drives or hard drive, CD-ROM. So while you are using the USB pen drive, it should be very careful, because if you are using a old pen drives, if there is a virus or any problems in that USB pen drive, when you are installing OS, then your whole boot system will corrupted. So I suggest that if you are having an operating system, you purchase some new pen drive, copy your OS in that pen drive and keep it safely, right? So that if your system is corrupted, your OS corrupted, if you want to reboot your system, you can use that pen drive and you can able to re-update your or reinstall your OS, so that your OS will be good and it will not be corrupted, right? You should not use that pen drive for any other purposes, like purchase some 8 GB pen drive and 4 GB pen drive. So uh, you can save your OS in the pen drive, so that the pen drive is used for only for OS purposes, updating OS purpose. You should not use that pen drive for any normal use. So that is one suggestion, because I have done one second. My personal opinion is I have used OS in my existing pen drive, daily usage pen drive. That pen drive actually had a virus. Actually, I have scanned that pen drive virus, and then I have used for then have used for OS updation. My OS full corrupted. right? So you should be very careful and cautious while you are using OS in a pen drive. So that is removable devices. And hard drive, no issues, right? If you're having your OS in a hard drive, no problem, it is as usual, it's safe. And CD ROM drive also, it will be safe, no problem, right? So this is about your removable drives. I'll come to a case study later, little bit later, about discussing some more about their booting options. What are the problems will troubleshooting options will arise in removable devices? How will solving the removable troubleshooting options? I'll come to that later. And finally, the existing menu options. Once you have changed any option, the security or advanced or main or booting menus, you have to save your bootings, right? You have to go to the exist menu. Then you have to click the exist saving or changes. Either you have to click, once I click the existing save option, I'll be getting two options, yes or no. So if I'm clicking yes, whatever the option you have changed the option present in the advanced option, security option, booting option, it will be changed. So if you are clicking no option, you can say that whatever you have changes done in the advanced security boot, it will not be changed. You can go on with the just you can, sometimes you will be you will be checking that advanced security booting whether everything is perfect. In that case, you can click no and you can go on with the, you can exit from the booting utility setup, right? So that is about the success. So what are the options present in the exit save changes, discarding save changes, lowered setup default, which means that it will lower the default setup, it will upgrade the default versions even though you have changed any setup previously. So discard changes, it will change all the whatever the changes you have done, it will discard all the changes. And save changes and you will continue. So that is the option. So this is here I have clicking the no, which means that discarding the setup, I'm performing going on with the current utility. So that is about the BIOS utility setup for normal PC. This procedure, what are the procedure which we have discussed so far, which is applicable to all the PC types. Any PC types, it is applicable. So for example, if you want, I can share my PPT. You can follow these steps to open your system's BIOS utility setup. You can able to check your system utility setup, how your BIOS function is present, and we can able to see your setup details from your laptop also, right? So the next procedure which I am going to discuss about you is different. So that is not for all the PCs and all the laptop. It is specifically for if the BIOS mode is UEFI. If your BIOS mode is UEFI, then the procedure which I am going to discuss with you now is applicable. So that is different. That is mostly that will be available if you are using a Windows version called 10. If your operating system, if you are using a Windows version 10, preferably you are not a pirated version. I'm not speaking about a pirated version OS. If you are using a OS as a original version, that is paid, you'll buy the OS version, then you'll be installing it, right? If your OS version is a original version, if you have installed, then you'll be getting this unified extensible firmware interface. That is one of the BIOS mode type. So then the procedure is different to go to the BIOS utility setup, right? So whatever I'm repeating, whatever the procedure we have seen so far, the BIOS utility setup, that is different. If you are that is applicable to all the normal PCs, laptop, to go and find the BIOS utility setup. Suppose if your BIOS mode is, so how to check the BIOS mode? I have told you yesterday, right? Type system information, or I told you one shortcut key yesterday. So or you can type system information. So in system information, you can able to check the BIOS mode. See here, my BIOS mode is legacy, which means that I cannot able to follow the second procedure. I have to follow the first procedure in my laptop if I want to go to the BIOS utility setup, right? So now I'll discuss you that how we have to go on with the second procedure if your BIOS mode is not like legacy. So your BIOS mode is UEFI. I'll discuss about what is UEFI. Then I'll discuss with you how to go to the how to open the BIOS utility setup. right? I hope you are listening. If any doubt so far in the procedure 1, you can text me, or you can text me in the chat, or you can unmute your mic. You can ask, right? So we'll see that the BIOS utility setup, if your BIOS mode is UEFI. So first, what is UEFI? So it is a unified extensible firmware interface. It's a specification for a software program that connect a computer firmware to its operating system, right? So it is expected to eventually replace BIOS. So instead of BIOS, instead of going with the initial procedure that while we are starting the power button itself, you have to press escape F1 F2. After you can able to open the BIOS setup, utility setup after login also. So that is the main difference I have come across, right? So like BIOS, UEFI is installed at the time of manufacturing and is the first program that runs when a computer is turned on. I told you, right? So after your computer is turned on, that is after login, you can able to open the BIOS utility setup. But the procedure which I have discussed with you, the first is before the computer turn on, how we can able to go to the BIOS utility setup. So the procedure which I am going to discuss with you is after system has been turned on, if you want to check the BIOS utility setup, you can follow the procedure now. So now you can ask me the doubt that, ma'am, can you show the procedure? Because I told you, I've shared you that system information, right? You have to check the system information. How you type the search system information, you can able to see the BIOS mode, right? So the BIOS mode for me is legacy, which means that I cannot able to use the second procedure. I can able to follow the procedure 1 to see my BIOS utility setup, right? So I'll show you the screenshot how it look like, how we can able to open the BIOS utility setup when you are following the after system has been turned on. If your system has the BIOS mode facility UEFI, right? Okay. So okay, how we should do that? You have to click a recovery option in the search menu. Click recovery option. From the recovery option, you will be getting the following. So once you like this, let me show you, but I cannot able to do that. Recovery option. See that I'm getting a recover option, right? So once you got the recovery option, you'll be getting this. Restart this PC. Go back to the previous version of Windows 10. I am using Windows 10. But even though I am using Windows 10, my version of the Windows 10 BIOS version is not UEFI. It is with legacy, which means that I cannot able to do this after turned on. I cannot able to see the BIOS utility setup. I can able to see the BIOS utility setup before starting of the system only, right? That is, so this after turning on the system, this part of the procedure is not applicable for me. How I find that this procedure is not applicable for me? I have checked, I have typed the system information, I've checked the BIOS mode. The BIOS mode is not UEFI, which means it's legacy. So I found that, so the second procedure I cannot able to do that. So I have to restart my system. I have to press F1, F2, F3 or escape or delete in order to find my BIOS utility setup, right? So you can see that I cannot able to do that. If I am doing that, it will restart. So I'm not doing that. I'll show you the screenshot from current slide. So you can see once the recovery option I have clicked, I am getting that options. Restart this PC, advanced startup. Am I getting that option? Let me check. Yeah, I think, yeah, advanced startup option I'm getting. So I have to click the restart now. So I'm not doing it now. I'm not sure that whether this will work because I'm in a live session. Let me show you the worked screenshot for you. Okay, so you can see here, restart now. You assume that I'm clicking the restart now option. So after clicking the restart now, you'll be getting, please wait, the cursor will be rotating. So it will be waiting. We'll be getting the options. So after clicking the restart now, we'll be getting some, please wait, that the cursor will be rotating. It will keep on. There's some based on the system memory, it will take some less time, more time, 5 to 10 seconds time. So you'll be getting the following options: continue, troubleshoot, turn off your system. So I'm clicking the troubleshoot options, right? So troubleshoot, because I want to know that where that booting option is coming. So troubleshoot. Once I click the troubleshoot option, I'll be getting two more option called restart this PC advanced option. I am clicking the advanced option. So the advanced option here, I'll be getting UEFI. So if my system is a legacy, BIOS mode is legacy, I'll not get the UEFI option here. See here. So here it's not very clear. UEFI frame for a framework setting, something will be getting this option. So if my system is legacy, I'll not get that UEFI option. So you assume that if I am having a UEFI option, then in that advanced troubleshooting will having two option. Advanced option will be getting that UEFI framework. So if I click that UEFI framework, I'll be getting the BIOS configuration. You can see here, right? So this is how I can able to see my BIOS utility setup if my system is turned on, right? After login my system, this is one way I can able to see the BIOS configuration. So let us go that if I am not having, so I showed you that how we can able to see the BIOS configuration. That is procedure 2. If your BIOS mode is UEFI, right? So what is UEFI? UEFI is a manufacturing company. They have one of the manufacturing company. They are providing this set of options after turning on. While legacy is a legacy kind of manufacturing BIOS company, they will not provide that BIOS utility setup option after the system has been turned on. So you have to see your BIOS setup utility before your system has been turned on. So you assume that I click the troubleshoot option, advanced option. There is no UEFI option is there. So I am proceeding with UE. There is no UEFI option available. What should I do? I have to go back. So uh, I have to go back the troubleshoot. I have to choose the continue option. So choose the continue option. And then the system will restart, which means that we are telling that. System, instead of troubleshooting, we are telling the system to restart. So after restarting, I have to do the follow the procedure 1. So I have to click the continuous escape or F1 F2. I have to find out that where that I have to find I have to um, uh, I have to I have to enable that BIOS utility setup option. So here the setup utility which I am showing you currently is Phoenix BIOS. The type of the BIOS version is Phoenix BIOS. There are a lot of BIOS versions available which we have come across yesterday, right? One is legacy, which means the common BIOS utility setup to all the PC machines. Phoenix, AMI. Then we have seen UEFI, that is some advanced in Windows 10, which recently the manufacturing company have started using. After system has turned on, we can able to set the BIOS. We can able to we can able to update your BIOS also. So let me discuss with you. This is about how we are want to find out the BIOS utility setup, right? So let me conclude here. There are two types of procedure, right? One, we can able to see the BIOS utility setup before the system has been turned on. So the other one is we can able to see the BIOS utility setup after your system has been turned on. So what is, if I am going with the procedure 1, so suppose you have if you want to see the BIOS utility setup before your system has been turned on, you have to click the power button, click continuously del button, upper arrow, upper arrow, down arrow, or F1, F2, F3, any button that will open up the BIOS utility setup. That is one way. So you can able to do the following changes. You can set up your booting. You can set up your bootings, right? The second way is if you have system has been turned on, right? Now you want to know, you want to check your BIOS utility setup, right? What you have to do, go to search, go to system information, check what kind of BIOS version your system is using. If the BIOS version is legacy, you cannot able to check the BIOS utility setup. You have to restart your system, then you can able to go the procedure 1, then you have to do. Suppose your BIOS version is UEFI, then you have to go to the recovery option, then go to the troubleshoot, then you have to go to the advanced option. There you can see the UEFI. Click that UEFI button, then you can able to see the advanced utility setup, that is BIOS configuration, right? So that is the that is how we can able to because you don't want to depend on some technical if you have suddenly, if you are using a system, if you're continuously working on your system 3 to 4 days continuously without switching off your PC or laptop, if your system is encountering some malfunction, then if you want to know how to check your BIOS utility, means this is a basic step, everyone can do it. You don't want to take your laptop to your service center and you have to depend on someone. You can do it by yourself. By this is all the basic things which is present in your system, which we can able to do it. But we should be very careful. You should not change it anything in the booting setup unless it is a requirement for you to change. Otherwise there will be a default. I have shown you, right? There is an option called uh, see the setup defaults, which means that if you're clicking this load setup default, if you're changing by mistakenly, if you're changing any default option, the booting setup will load the default setup and it will be configuring a normal procedure. So you can do that. So if you want to do that, you know how to do, how what is the procedure for open up the BIOS, right? Booting option, right? So this is the procedure. I hope everyone can do this. It's very easy to do the BIOS. So the troubleshooting, which this one example case study I'll discuss with you. I'll wind up the session. So the bootable USB not working. So I have told you, right? If you want to use the bootable, if you want to boot the PC, if your software is present in your PC, sorry, USB, how you have to do it? Sometimes you'll be getting a error message that the booting option present in the USB is not working or corrupted. In that case, the troubleshooting error, how we should recover that error, that we'll be discussing here. So any doubts so far? If you have any doubt, you can text me. If you have any doubts in procedure, we have discussed some procedure, right? Procedure 1 or procedure 2, we can discuss now. So Windows 10 bootable not working, fix or replace it. If not, I'll continue with that case study and I'll wind up the session. So the bootable USB is a media that contains everything required to boot a Windows. So normally you can use it to start up your computer, whether it's a bootable or not, and then clean install a fresh copy of Windows. I have discussed one concept called in the yesterday's session, flash BIOS. I hope you remember what is flash BIOS, right? So that is applicable here. Perform in place upgrade to Windows 10 from previous version or troubleshoot a faulty computer. So for all these kind of scenarios, we need to fix your booting setup, right? So what we are going to do here is, for example, if you are having a problem with a laptop, when you insert your USB, that through UEFI mode, the USB is telling that that laptop simply ignoring, which means that when I am clicking this option, so let me show you that option. Removable device. When I'm clicking this removable device, it should connect with the USB pen drive which you have inserted in your laptop or PC. It has to open up the pen drive, but sometimes you'll be getting an error when you click this removable device. It's corrupted or it simply ignore the message, right? And continues. It will continue go on with the remaining option. So this is one of the booting error. Like this is one of the error, which means that pen drive is not detected by the boot utility setup. So in this case, if you happen to encounter this situation or similar like that, any other kind of USB problem while you are booting, Windows 10 bootable USB is not working, or we can able to fix this kind of troubleshooting error. How we should do that? So we can able to do it. So what you have to do is, if you are I'm going to give a solution. If your Windows is like Windows 8 or more version, USB, suppose one problem is your USB device, the port itself is not connected with the boot, which means that the port, the USB port which you have inside hub itself is malfunctioned, right, corrupted, or that is not that is not connected with the booting, which means that USB port is not connected, so that booting is not enabling that option to detect that USB pen drive, right? So sometimes bootable USB not showing up in BIOS. That it may happen because of that incorrect boot order. Sometimes here that I told you, right, your pen drive booting itself incorrect, so that the booting options will not show in a correct order. So you have to be very careful. The booting OS it should be very carefully. You have to keep it in either separate CD drive or pen drive, which you should not use it for other purposes. Okay, booting, sometimes booting USB not show up in boot menu. That removable devices will not show up in boot menu. So that means that your USB is too old with match up with the OS. Your USB pen drive version is USB. I hope you know that the USB hub which you are inserting, right? There are different types of hubs are there. When you are purchasing that in Amazon, you can see that the hub 3.0 version, some different versions of hub will be there. So because that hub, the versions of the hub, when we transfer files to the USB, the hub can increase the speed of transferring the files. So that's why there are different versions of hub. When you purchase your USB pen drive, Transcend or any different types of pen drives, you check that in the Amazon, there will be a versions of USB hub pen drives will be there. So that will transfer your files faster than your normal pen drives, right? So sometimes it will not select the right boot option. So in this case, your pen drive will be, your USB drive itself corrupted. You'll be getting a message like no bootable devices found, right? So these are some of the troubleshooting errors you'll be faced if you are getting such type of error while you're using a USB pen drive to boot your system. You can able to check the following options, right? Any doubts, you can ask me, right? Any doubt so far, you can text me or unmute your mic and you can speak. Right, okay. Thank you everyone. Thank you participants for patiently listening. We'll be seeing about, so far in the previous sessions, I have discussed about BIOS, right? Yesterday we have seen the core functionality of BIOS. Today I have shown you the setup, pure setup. There are two procedures I have shown you, how to open up the BIOS setup from your PC or laptop. Tomorrow we will discuss about more troubleshooting functions, right? So more troubleshooting errors with your internal memory, hardware troubleshooting errors, software troubleshooting errors in the upcoming sessions. Thank you everyone. We'll wind up the session. We'll meet you tomorrow. Ma'am? Thank you.